Okay, so I chose this video, came courtesy of Rock the Post, and so Rock the Post is one of the many platforms out there, and they usually provide help tools for people such as this to give you sort of lay the groundwork of what you need to do, right? And it's very clear. It's very simple, but then what happens is people just sort of launch into a crowdfunding campaign thinking that it's as simple as this video indicates, and in fact, there's a lot more involved in it. And so breaking it down, I know that there are a lot of people, it's funny, even a lot of people that are in industries where a lot of the components they're used to in their own industry, like people in marketing, they're still extremely fearful. They just feel like it's this monster that they can't tackle. So even though, there is more to what we just saw, breaking it down for you, I hope today will sort of demystify it and make you less fearful. If you know, just like anything, if you know what you're doing, if you've read about it, informed yourself, once you get into it, you have, so much more of a chance to be successful. So crowdsourcing became a word in 2006 when a guy named Jeff Howe coined the term in an article that he wrote for Wired magazine. Okay, so that was in 2006. And as I just talked about with Inspiration Cafe, the concept of crowdfunding is very, very old. Those of us who, have passed by a musician that's playing something really nice and we feel compelled to put something in his hat, because we're appreciative of what he's performing for us. Or if you go to church, tithing, sometimes it's called, you're supporting your church by giving them some money, right? These are all crowdfunding. Are you aware of the fact that the Statue of Liberty was crowdfunded? I think it was in 1884. France had already committed to giving us the statue, but it was on America to create the pedestal and the space for it, the location for it. And they didn't have enough money to do it. So Joseph Pulitzer, who was a publisher of the World newspaper, appealed to his readership. And they were able to raise $150,000 over a 5-month period, having 125,000 people donate. About $1, around $1. And even if even though that was over 100 years ago, right, that's still a small amount of money, relatively speaking. So that's pretty much, it's what crowdfunding is. It's not somewhere to go and raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. Those cases do happen, but you can't necessarily plan on it. But it's all about raising small sums of money, and Joseph Pulitzer did it before it was called crowdfunding. So here's some key metrics. An organization called Mass Solution has been collecting these for a couple of years. So 2011, $1.5 billion was raised by platforms worldwide. And most of these, this is good news for you, were donation-based projects, even though we'll talk about equity in a little bit. So in April 2011, there were 452 platforms worldwide, and when I saw that number, it absolutely boggled my mind. But now look, this research just came out in May of this year. So now we're at 2.7 billion, which is an increase of 81%, over 800 platforms, 9,000 registered domain names with the word crowdfunding, and 30% of the funds went to social causes and creative projects, though honestly, entrepreneurs and startups are really, really starting to use crowdfunding a lot too. Starter campaigns have brought in over 200,000. I happen to know that figure is already higher. But the average campaign brings in about $7,000, okay? And we'll talk about how to make that figure higher if you need higher sums. What this means is that $2.7 billion was allocated over 1 million campaigns in the last year. And Mass Solution forecasts global crowdfunding volumes to $5.1 billion, which means 524% growth rate in 1 year, which is, these numbers are kind of amazing.